as it was before, and I just hope that he keeps the cast around for like maybe 3 seasons and then maybe decides to replace him. It's a good question, and it's actually a really serious question for me. So if I cry, I apologize in advance. So yeah, you know, all that me getting old and going off to some foreign planet or something, I don't know. I wasn't there for any of that. I don't know anything about it. I've never watched the episodes, but I walked off set one day during the middle of lunch, during halfway through the day. I just had made a decision. I'd been thinking about it for a good week, and the reason that I walked off is because I was called faggot one too many times. So I had just heard that several times while working on the show, from creators, producers, writers, directors. It's not that people can't talk about me and have their opinion about me, but continuing to work in an environment like that is really difficult. And I myself was struggling with who I was or what I was, and to be made fun of on some level, or to be stereotyped or put into a category and sort of saying you're not, basically I just felt like I was continually being told I'm not worthy of where I am because I'm quote-unquote a gay person and I'm not supposed to be an actor and you can't be a superhero. That's sort of the vibe that I was getting. And I know that my co-stars were called in a couple times to different producers' offices and questioned about my sexuality, which is kind of a humiliating experience to hear that and to find that out. So there was just a lot of issues. It just felt like a bad marriage, and I could either stay and finish 6 more months, do the second movie and finish 6 more months of the show, or just, I don't know, I guess I was kind of worried about my life. I was worried that I might take my own life. So in order for me to get a handle on what was going on, I needed to leave when I left. And so that's sort of why I left the show. Well, it gets worse. So I left the show, and instead of learning to accept myself, I decided, well, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of being gay somehow. So I did what they call pray the gay away, where you sort of believe that God's gonna somehow come down and change you. And I spent a good 2 years trying to do that and trying to change who I was. Now you're gonna get me to cry. And it eventually led to a nervous breakdown where I had to check into a hospital and try to start rebuilding my life, and start accepting who I was. So I went to a hospital for 5 weeks and just sort of started dealing with things, and after I got out, I went on vacation with my dad to Mexico, and I was like, wow, it's really pretty here. So I decided, well, I'm just gonna move to Mexico. And so I moved to Cabo San Lucas for pretty close to a year and just sort of try to hang out there and get my head together. And that's kind of been that. But, you know, I will say that having a nervous breakdown is probably one of the most horrific things that I've ever had, and it's something I will never forget. And it frustrates me that I hated myself on such a level that I couldn't accept myself. Well, I think even working on Power Rangers, I always had I just was always fascinated by the behind-the-scenes stuff. I think if I would have stayed on the show, if I could have worked out the issues without leaving, I think I would have figured out a way to become a director on the show. And I know I had talked to one of the producers about doing that, and it probably would have worked out on some level. I just like the whole idea of bringing all the elements together. Maybe it's a control thing, I don't know. But you know, it's fun as a producer to get to sit in casting sessions and watch actors come in and portray the role and figuring out who it's going to be. It's fun to work with scripts and sort of do the rewrites and create something out of nothing. It's fun to find the crew. I love looking for directors and writers and wardrobe people, makeup people. It's just fun. You know, everybody's an artist, and I love that people follow their passion on some level and what they bring to the table. So I just knew if I wasn't going to be an actor, I have to be in the entertainment business somehow, because I think that's where I'm supposed to be, and not seem just like the natural progression. Honestly, I would tell you that I completely understand the way that you feel. And I'm sorry if it feels like the world is against you on some way, and that you're doubting yourself and you're questioning yourself. I know that there are hotlines out there for you to call. If you're like me, there's a great hotline that you can call the Trevor Project, which is a national crisis hotline for LGBT, and I'll say I now, children who are questioning their sexuality or just questioning who they are and not feeling good about it and they're thinking about taking their life. I highly recommend that you call this organization and that you talk to a counselor, because people are there to help you. And I think it's really important that your presence is on this earth. I understand what it's like to be beat up. I understand what it's like to be called names. Me personally, I've been spit on. I've had food thrown at me. And I've had my life threatened simply because of who I am. And I know the humiliation and the self-hatred that comes with that. So my heart goes out to you. And I wish I could be there to hug you or tell you everything's going to be okay. Unfortunately, I can't be everywhere at the same time. So just know that there's help, and know that there's people like me that care about you and want to see you around.